Hey everyone, my name is Vikas,
Hi, I'm Sidharth.
and we are representing today the General Management Club. Thank you for attending the session, and we'll give you overview of the brief. Firstly, our introductions, then what General Management Club is all about, and we are over here to answer any or every questions you have. I know we had some delays. Sorry for that. If you're not able to cover all the questions for you guys, please feel free to mail us. We'll definitely drop our email IDs as well over here. You can even connect through us like a Fuqua Connect web page. So we'll get straight into it. So giving a very brief introduction of mine. So yeah, my name is Vikas. I come from India, from the western part of it, from a city called Surat. Before MBA, I had worked in multiple of two industries basically. First with Reliance Industries for like 1.5 years in oil and gas, and then I switched to consulting. Was with ZS, worked there for 4.5 years. But definitely I wanted to come for my MBA, as you all know, like to broaden my horizon into functional knowledge, and been wonderfully over here, like been to past 2 years. And I think we can reserve fun fact for the end then.
Sure.
Over to you.
Thank you, Vikas. I think this takes me back in time. I remember about 2 years back, I was attending one of these sessions, and how time flies that I'm now here. So, but kind of segueing into the introduction. So, I'm Sidharth. I also come from India. I'm from the northern part of India, a state of Punjab. Prior to my MBA, I worked in the social impact space, so working on projects like how do you reduce undernutrition in India, how do you provide Wi-Fi access to the public. These are the kind of projects that I worked on. And again, coming from the social side, I wanted to kind of get an experience into the business side. And if I said that if I have to get it right, if I have to get an experience on the business side, I've got to do it right. Came for my MBA here. And over the summer, I was very fortunate. I interned at AMBA. It's a pharma company, and I'll be joining there full time in the finance and strategy division. And that's pretty much more about it. And keeping up with the Fuqua traditions, we both are going to start off with a fun fact before we kind of jump into the session. So I'll take a jibe at it first. So I, as a person, I'm really crazy about cars. So not being able to afford a convertible back home, I kind of used 35 hand cutters and cut my Ford sedan into a convertible so that I could drive it around the city. That was one of the fun parts of being growing up and the kind of experiences that I had. Over to you, Vikas.
That's interesting. Okay, mine will be a kind of a nerdy one, but I'm really fond of puzzles. If you know Wordle, New York Times, so I've been doing it for 400 plus days now.
Wow.
I think more than that, 500 days now. And I think LinkedIn, there is a new game now, Queens.
Oh.
So I have a streak of again 200 days odd. So again a nerdy one, but nevertheless.
Pretty impressive.
So we'll move into the what General Management Club is all about. So General Management Club, like any other club again, is dedicated to both educate as well as prepare the students for the leadership and cross-disciplinary, like roles. One you mentioned, like FLD program at the Amgen. So mission is to become like a one-stop solution or like a resource for all the students who are interested in this general management by like providing access to education or career development or career coaches, second-year students, interview banks, like everything and all. And definitely the alumni also, but definitely we'll get into the more details around what kind of events we go through. Talking about that, and also guys, feel free to post any questions. We will be getting into that midway as well, not holding on to the end because we are almost short on time. Do you want to talk about few annual activities we do?
Definitely. So since this is a professional club, but we don't treat it like that. So we realize that once you come to Fuqua, it takes some time to kind of build in those connections. So our events are kind of or our kind of schedule is also kind of built in that way. So what we start off with a very informal, like chai pe charcha. It's like a session where the first years and second years meet. Second years kind of tell them what worked for them, what is something that and advice that they would do to, let's say, get a better internship or get it, let's say, sooner. What are the industry trends? What are the things that they need to do in order to kind of look at different industries? And that is also a time that you get an exposure to the different realms, right from, let's say, the marketing, leadership development programs to finance to corporate strategy, get an overview of almost the entire realm of opportunities out there. Then we focus more towards the interview prep. So there are dedicated events in and around that. So And as the interview cycle comes in, then there are the mock interview weeks, which the second years, as well as the career management center at Fuqua, which I must say it's an amazing resource. This is something that we get into it. And in the recruitment session, we realized that people have a lot of questions. So we organize lunch and learns with the companies. So, for example, we organized it with Davita. It's again a healthcare company, and with Walmart in this space. So these are the kind of events that we link into. And there were a couple of events that go throughout the year. So let kind of Vikas touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So the later part of the events also kind of mimic how the recruitment cycle usually goes in. So for the first half, usually consulting or finance and other heavy, general management roles also come in, but those are the kind of roles, consulting, finance, IB, etc., which are highly prevalent. All the webinars come in. So as people get to know that, okay, by January, mid-January, like, okay, what all offers they have, and if people are still looking for recruitment, or they are not satisfied with consulting or the IB offers, that's when general management companies again start to pick up back in February, March, April. So then we have like two very important events. First is like ladder series. As I was mentioned, it's a very structured program, 2-part or 3-part event, talking about like, okay, what general management is all about. Then we'll have like educating everyone in terms of, okay, what all different kind of roles are there. There'll be LDP programs, there'll be corporate strategy, there will be biz strategy, biz ops, such kind of things. And also a third event would be in that kind of like a second year panel. I think you were in one of those panels as well. Q&A sessions. They will talk about what exactly they worked on during the internship, what are the future like exit roles, or you can say exit opportunities, or like the career trajectory in that particular role, so that people get more aware and they can make more calculated decision while applying for those jobs. And finally, one of the big flagship event, we have like a GMC symposium, which this time will be happening in March 19th. So it covers like, we have like a keynote speaker, then like 2 or 3 sessions in which alumni will be coming in, Fuqua alumni who are at a very top, I would say like a very good positions in different firms, but who went into this general management route during that time at Fuqua. So they'll come in, they will explore about what's the trend happening that particular industry, in that particular firm, in that particular kind of functional role. And people, again, students like us, will be asking those questions and making a connect with both the fellow, you can say, students who are interested in general management realm, as well as the alumni, which is a great resource to understand more about like, okay, where I would see myself in 5 years, and does this role align with my future career goals as well.
Amazing. I see a lot of questions are coming in, so I'm going to pause our kind of, let's say, an overview of the General Management Club, and we're going to dive into the questions. So I see the first one is from Carla, and she's saying that I'm looking to pivot from the non-profit sector to consulting. How early can you get involved with the club? So I can take this one. I'm from a non-consulting background and from a non-profit sector. So I had a consulting offer also, so I can kind of answer this a little bit. So I think as soon as you join, the first term when you come here, it's a summer term. You get used to the school, you get used to your classmates, you get used to kind of studying back. So the very first month that you're here, August, we kind of try to keep you away from recruitment. But come September, you kind of dive deep into the recruitment bit, and you can get involved as soon as the September kicks in, or let's say we use the term in the academic term, fall 1 kicks in. So you can kind of get involved with the club, and all the clubs have very dedicated programming. So from the general management to the consulting to everybody clubs, they will have a very dedicated program which will get you from point A to the point B that you want to go to.
Yep.
Next is Tanmay's question.
I think you should take this one as well. You did
the leadership development program. So Tanmay's question is, what are the leadership development programs, and what for the international students, and what makes them pretty attractive? So the leadership programs for, let's say, I'll take it in a stab at it in 2 angles. I'll cover the international students bit, but also for the domestic students. So I'm going to start off with what is the appeal of the leadership development program. So the leadership development program typically span multiple rotations, typically 2 to 3 rotations. The companies might have different, let's say, timelines. Some maybe 6-month rotation, some maybe 1-year rotation. The idea is they help you get the breadth of the exposure. So for example, I'm pivoting into pharma industry from a non-profit sector. I don't have an exposure of the pharma industry. So doing different rotations gets me an exposure of the pharma industry, allows me to work with multiple people, and in almost all the companies that we've seen, they this is a very coveted program, and they see it as a pipeline for further leadership.
Yep.
So this is the appeal of the leadership programs, I would say. And for international students as well as domestic students, there are a lot of leadership programs opportunities available. So I'm an example. I'm an international student. I converted into the Amgen's Finance and Leadership Development program. There are similarly for tech, within the tech space, there is Amazon Pathways program. There are within, let's say, the automotive space, there is something within Nissan of the similar nature. So there are multiple opportunities, and almost within every industry there is a kind of a leadership development program. And if you are kind of really passionate about it, there is a kind of set process to kind of get into it, and I'm pretty sure that if you want, you can kind of crack it.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize on this. It's a very coveted role. To give an example, General Motors, they came for their corporate strategy leadership development program.
Yes.
And the fun fact they gave was that out of last 10 CFOs, 9 of them had graduated from that that leadership development program. So it's a very coveted, and it's not just a fun fact kind of thing, but actually people root and people fight for that resource once anyone graduates from this LDP program.
Yes, definitely. That is something that I realized during my internship experience also. So it's a very coveted program, and for this, the program that I was at, it was seen as a CFO pipeline. So everybody who's graduated from this program, I could see them at a very amazing position, leading a vertical or leading a business unit in terms of, and that was a pretty amazing position, and I'm really excited about starting that.
Yep.
So Kala's again.
How did you select your discipline with general management? So I would say there are like two parts to it. Firstly, what did you do prior to your MBA? Most of the people actually, they really like what they were doing before MBA. They come for MBA to get more functional expertise like marketing, finance, etc., and they want to continue in that industry or function. And there might be few people who actually want to pivot now. So for example, even kind of you pivoted,
yes,
right. So I think I wouldn't be giving, there is not like a one-stop answer to this. It's more about your intrinsic motivations, like what you were doing and what's your interest in, like how you are seeing yourself. And that's where general management, as I was saying, club and the career management center, they help you in that, guiding you with that. There are many sessions in the August and September as well by the CMC, which like a questionnaire and all the internal homework you do with yourself and understanding, okay, what are your top 3 choices of functional areas you want to go into. And it's a very exhaustive exercise, so that will help you with guiding that process.
So just to summarize that, there's just to add on to that, so something that helped me during the process, so the lunch and learn session, so you get to know a little bit more about the company. For a person like me who's kind of forming ideas where I wanted to go, these lunch and learn sessions were pretty helpful. But I know a friend who was very particular that I want to do marketing in pharma. So they already had a line decided, they already had a path set on, so they kind of walked that path. For me, who's trying to kind of walk the talk, so basically just kind of paddle through. So these lunch and learn sessions and a couple of resources from CMC were very helpful.
Actually, this is I remember one of my batchmates, he mentioned that these lunch and learn sessions or events also help them to understand, okay, this might not be the role best fit for me. Although initially they thought, okay, I want to really go into finance, but when they spoke to people, industry folks, alumni, what kind of work they're doing, they thought, okay, this might not be their cup of tea or not be the best role fit for them.
So is the GMC good fit for AMBA students? Definitely. So I would say that a lot of my friends have kind of gone from, who are from AMBA, have gone into, let's say, general management roles. I personally, because I'm very connected with the pharma world right now, I can think of a couple of examples that were kind of gone into pharma roles, but yes, a lot of people from AMBA have gone into the general management roles. So it's definitely a good resource. And the programming of General Management Club is kind of agnostic to daytime, AMBA, executive MBA. Everybody can use the resources that are provided by the General Management Club.
Got it. Ritik has a question: how do GM's resource complement HCC resource for someone who is looking to recruit for LDP roles in pharma? I think you can, I'll just give you a very brief, very good point, Ritik. Actually, General Management Club do collaborate with many of the clubs, not just the healthcare club, but also with the tech club, also with the fintech club, because as you know, leadership development programs, they are in multiple industries as well as multiple functions. So definitely there is a bit of a collaboration and overlap with other clubs. But as you are in the LDP program in pharma, I would like to, if you have anything.
100%. So see, I'll tell you what the resources that I use. So, for example, I use the Lunch and Learn sessions from General Management Club in order to figure out my interest in the pharma space. Then I use the resume reviews and the mock interview sessions to prepare for my interviews. From the healthcare club, I use the health question bank. So General Management Club has a separate question bank. The Health Club has a separate question bank. So I used a mix of resources from both the clubs, and I see that they both work in partnership and they complement each other's strength.
Yep.
So to summarize Ritwik's question, so all the clubs both will work. The resources provided by both the clubs will be useful as you look to kind of navigate into the LDP roles in pharma.
Yep. Does your prior experience restrict your choice for a pivot? If I come from an investment banking background, so I'll be mostly applying to finance house LDPs. Will this background be looked down upon for a role agnostic LDP? Actually not. If you're looking for finance focused LDPs, I think you are in a very good position. I do know a first year, she had like a proper investment banking background, and she now has offers from Amazon FLDP program as well as from the Microsoft Finance Leadership Development program. Definitely having that prior experience does not restrict your choice. And in terms of pivot, I'm not sure what do you mean by role agnostic LDP.
Look down upon for a role agnostic. So if I understand correctly, Tanmay is saying that if he applies to, let's say, a marketing LDP, is your finance background going to be looked down upon?
Not really. So over here as well, like I know you didn't have a pharma background, but you
neither a finance background.
Exactly. It's more about you need to firstly show why you are interested in that. There should be a genuine interest in that, and that I think that can be by attending all those events, talking to folks. There will be coffee chats with the personnel or the representatives of that particular firm that might be coming. You can talk to the second years who have interned over there or will be joining that full time. So these are like the kind of, you can say, resources as well as for you to understand and for them to know that you are really interested in that particular role.
Yeah.
And secondly is also about how you navigate your own profile and like letting them know that there are definitely transferable skills which you can leverage from your prior experience, although it's not exactly what you are going into, but there definitely is a transferable skill element.
100%. But then you don't need to worry about that. That is what we are here for. So, but to answer a question, you can go into finance leadership development, you can go into marketing leadership development, anything that you want to do. But you have to be passionate about it. Rest, there is a kind of, let's say, a roadmap in order to kind of get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yep.
I think we can take one more question.
Yeah.
And we're running out of time. So there is one question around the advice. So there are two questions. One is the advice that we have for the incoming students. So I think one, I would be really quick about it. There are a lot of things that you can do. I would say that first, enjoy just before coming here. It gets hectic. Second is, for me, I was not that much into reading, but once you get in here, there are so many cases. You have to go through a lot of documents, consume a lot of knowledge. So if you're not comfortable with reading, start building up that habit. That is, I think, one of the most trivial things, but something that I feel I wish I had known before I started my MBA process.
Yeah. I like kind of a skim reading, not like a word to it, like how you guys did for the GMAT prep.
Yeah.
And like we have a last question. We'll take this up. How difficult is recruiting for LDPs? I think Sid, you will be best for this one.
So I'll not say I can't put a number on it. So it's just that you have to show that you're passionate about that role. Why do you want to work in that industry? Why is that LDP good for you? And leadership development programs are not the only scope within this general management club scope. So leadership program is one of the ways that you can kind of get involved with the industry. But there are other such positions, such as a very coveted one is corporate strategy at Nike, corporate strategy at Cargill. These are kind of pretty amazing roles. And recruiting for any role, I would say, is kind of pragmatic upon what you do. How do you navigate that role? And it can be as easy as it wants to be, as hard as you want it to be. Depends on the efforts that you put into that role. I know it's not a black and white answer, but this is something that if you kind of put your heart into it, there is no stopping you from getting that role.
Yeah, I think you like summarized it really well, that it's as easy or as difficult as any other role, so not just for LDP.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think we are right on time. But guys, feel free to reach out to us. There will be a link page. I mean, for in the Fuqua Connect, if I'm not wrong. Will we be able to put our email IDs over here in chat?
I don't think we have the option to do that. But I think you can.
Yeah, do first name dot last name @duke.edu. My full name is Vikas Vala.
Mine is Sidharth Dua. Please feel free to reach out to us, and all the best. And thank you so much for attending this session.
Thank you, guys.